When it comes to catching killers, there are those who are physically on the run, like that guy, Casey White, who's out there tonight searching for him with the corrections officer who allegedly helped him, spring from prison. And then there are those who are always going to be looking over their shoulder, like the killers that we haven't found yet. And time is rarely on the side of the good guys here. Evidence and memories, they don't get better with age, but there is one thing that does: technology. That gets better with age. You could just ask Joseph DeAngelo, whose Golden State murders were kept secret for decades until the advent of a whole new sphere of police work called forensic genealogy, crime scene DNA matched against online genetic databases. That was what led police to one of DeAngelo's relatives, and other clues zeroed in on that predator himself. We know him as the Golden State Killer, and he was locked away because of it. That was in 2018, and there's been 4 years of advances in forensic genealogy since then. So maybe now, right now, in the hands of the right people, forensic genealogy might find the killer of JonBenet Ramsey, who was found bludgeoned and strangled in the basement of her own home in Boulder, Colorado, the day after Christmas in 1996. She was 6 years old, and if you were around at that time, I hardly need to remind you of this. Her case was a global sensation, first because of the crime itself, and later, as time dragged on with no arrests, because of the investigation, which was sloppy at best and incompetent at worst. There were, and I quote, false investigative starts, wild conspiracy theories, and a seemingly infinite number of accusations against nearly everyone involved in this case. And I'm quoting an online petition that was just launched by JonBenet's dad, John Ramsey. He, his late wife Patsy, and their son Burke have been the subjects of accusations and innuendo, but they were publicly cleared back in 2008 by DNA. Let me repeat that: publicly cleared by DNA 14 years ago. Now John wants the governor of Colorado to let a third party try to match genetic evidence from the JonBenet crime scene with a plausible suspect, just like the police matched a suspect with familial DNA in that Golden State Killer case. And I got breaking news for you on this tonight. The governor has agreed to review John's petition. The Boulder police say they have almost 1,000 DNA samples to work with, among more than 1,500 pieces of evidence. They say they've checked out more than 20,000 tips and traveled to 19 states to question more than 1,000 people. But still, after 25 years and 4 months, no one has been charged. Now John Ramsey wants action, and he joins me live tonight. John, thank you so much for joining me on such short notice. I mean, this is really quite miraculous news. The governor has responded tonight. He says he will consider your petition. I'd love to hear your reaction.
Well, yes, his response certainly was encouraging. We hope that that'll be followed by action and not just words. You said exactly what we're looking for, Ashley. DNA technology has advanced so far and so fast that it needs to be applied to this case. And the problem is, there's two problems. One, there's crime scene evidence that's never been tested, that should be tested. It most likely was handled by the killer. That needs to be sampled for DNA. Secondly, we had a meeting with the FBI a couple of months ago, and they said, look, we don't even have the latest technology in government. We have to get a budget, we have to put out a requisition, and then we eventually get the technology to use. It takes time, and this technology is moving so fast. They said there's only the best way to do it. The only way to do it is to go to one of the few independent labs that are out there that really have the latest technology, and that's what we're asking the governor to do. The police said, "Well, we have DNA people. They don't have the latest technology. They really do not, and it's just time to admit that and get on with it." This familial DNA database tracking, which found the Golden State Killer and many others since then, is a remarkable type of police work. I know it's a lot of work, but it's yielded some amazing results in terms of old, cold cases that have never been solved up until the use of that technology to kind of go backwards. And use the vast database of DNA that's out there now. When I first got involved in this case, obviously, I thought, there's no DNA databases back in the 90s. And it turns out there was a database the FBI had set up, but there was no data in it to speak of. And some states were behind, some states didn't submit samples. It's a whole mix of things. But with this public database now that's out there, I volunteered, put my DNA in. I wanted to see what my ancestry was. And it's massive. And to not use that today is... It's sad.
It seems criminal. It really does. It seems criminal. I understand some of the reasons, the privacy issues that came around in the last 5 to 10 years. But for anybody who's not following right now, John, I mean, you and I kind of live this stuff regularly. But, back in the day, like 1996, when JonBenet died, the DNA databases really only consisted of criminals. You collected the DNA of criminals and you put them into the database. And then along came, 23andMe and all these genealogy gifts that you can send around to your family, and suddenly we had DNA information on hundreds of millions of people all around the world, and those people could lead you to a family member who maybe had not submitted their DNA. So that's the essence of why this is so much more of a robust tool now. But my question for you, John, is this. First, I can't understand why the Boulder police wouldn't be desperate to solve this and do anything and everything they could to access familial DNA and genetics DNA databases like 23andMe, et cetera. But secondly, and it's a two-parter, do you have confidence that the governor is really going to put his shoulder behind this and help you?
Well, the answer to the first question is I don't really know. It's hard to understand their mentality. They decided, first of all, they had no experience in homicide investigation. Small town, fairly peaceful. They didn't have a homicide detective when this happened. So they had no experience, and I don't fault them for that. What I do fault them for is they turned down help from people that knew what they were doing, and they continue to do so today. That type of arrogance and ego, and this is my case, nobody can take it away, is a real problem. And that's what we were fighting against. And they decided, I think, frankly, the first day that the family did it. They were in the house, had to be one of the family members. Burke, my 9-year-old child, me, or Patsy. They just didn't know which one. And that was the conclusion. And then they went about, okay, now let's put together some evidence to prove it. This all happened in the first week, probably. And they started coming up with evidence that conflicted with that conclusion, and which was a problem for them. But they've never, I don't think, gotten off that conclusion that it was one of the parents. The same people are there today that managed this case 25 years ago. They were young novices then, and I don't know if they learned a whole lot more since. But this reluctance to pursue the killer is just, I do not understand it, and it's not acceptable.
Do you think the governor is going to really forcefully work on your case, help you to finally get justice?
Well, we hope so. I mean, we basically have put out this petition, which is on change.org/justice for JBR, and ask people to sign it. We've got, I think, over 2,500 signatures now on it. People care about it and want it solved. And we're not asking the government to do anything that they shouldn't be doing. We're just asking them to do what they should be doing. We're not asking for an apology. We're not asking for exoneration. Just do your job and do it as best it can be done with today's modern technology. Now, the police will say, oh, we use the latest technology and we have our own DNA experts. They don't. The FBI admitted they don't have it. They don't have the latest stuff. They said you have to go to an outside lab, of which there's probably less than 3 or 4 in the country that are very capable of doing this very sophisticated DNA analysis. So that's what we're asking for.
Well, I'm pulling for you, and I've said this to you on air before. I've given you a national apology for the way that you were treated in the last 26 years by the press, by the police. Patsy died before she could know that there was an exoneration of you and your son and Patsy. And I can't believe you even agree to these interviews, given what you've been through. So I'm very thankful that you are with us tonight.
Well, thank you for having me on the program, Ashley. And you folks can help push this along too by publicizing it. There's a bigger issue here, which I'm really going to get focused on. This happened because we have 18,000 police jurisdictions in this country. Each one's a little island of authority, and they have full control over and responsibility for crimes that happen in their territory. And a small community like Boulder doesn't have the expertise to be expert at everything, and certainly not this type of homicide. They can ask for help from people like the FBI, the Denver police, people that have lots of experience. But if they don't ask for it and invite them in, it can't be given. And that was the tragedy here. If you remember the old Andy Griffith, Barney Fife program, Andy was the wise old sheriff and Barney was the deputy in Mayberry, and Barney wouldn't give him bullets for his gun because he was afraid to shoot somebody. If that murder had happened in Mayberry, it'd be up to Barney Fife to solve it unless he asked for help. What I'd like to see is a federal crime statute be created that made the murder of a child be a federal offense so that help would come in. We care about our money. If a bank's robbed, the FBI comes in immediately. If a child is murdered, nothing happens unless the local people ask for help. And that's wrong. We don't care about it.
I think that's a whole other area once the governor handles this case, that maybe that can be our next conversation. In the meantime, I'd love to stay in touch with you to see what happens next. If you meet with the governor, what he decides in terms of the review. And I can't thank you again enough for being on the program tonight, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you very much.
Jon Ramsey joining us live tonight from Moab in Utah. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.